Kentucky, 12 million acres of forest, Daniel Boone country, families who've tracked game through these woods for generations. This is hunting territory. The people here know the sounds. They know what belongs and what doesn't. But lately, some of them have been noticing something different. Footsteps that don't match any animal they know. A feeling that starts when the sun goes down. The sense that somewhere in the darkness, something is watching back. Hunters don't scare easy. They're the ones with the weapons, they're the ones who know the terrain. But some of them have started coming home early. Some of them have stopped going out at all. Something is hunting people in the Kentucky woods. Tonight, 5 of them share what they experienced. They just know the forest feels different now. And they've learned to pay attention. I heard it following me for 2 miles. It never got closer, it never fell behind. This story comes from a woman named Angela, 28 years old. She grew up in eastern Kentucky, spent her childhood in these woods. September 2022. Angela was finishing a day hike in the Red River Gorge area. She'd started late, lost track of time. By 7 p.m. the sun was going down, and she was still 3 miles from her car. No problem. She had a headlamp. She knew the trail. The first mile after dark was fine, quiet. Normal forest sounds, owls starting up, insects winding down. Then she heard it. Footsteps. Behind her. Maybe 50 yards back. I stopped. The footsteps stopped. I started walking. They started again. Angela told herself it was another hiker, someone else who'd stayed out too late. No big deal. But the footsteps didn't sound right. Too heavy to be a person, too rhythmic, like something was matching my pace exactly, step for step. She sped up. The footsteps sped up. She slowed down. They slowed down. I tried stopping randomly. Mid-step, the footsteps stopped at the exact same moment, not a half-second delay. Exact. Angela kept walking, didn't look back. I wanted to. God, I wanted to. But something told me not to, like looking back would be an invitation. The footsteps followed her for 2 miles, same distance, same pace, never closer, never farther. When she reached the trailhead, they stopped. I got to my car, turned around, shined my light back down the trail. Nothing, just trees, just darkness. She drove home with the windows up and the doors locked. Didn't stop shaking for an hour. Angela has been back to the Red River Gorge since then. Daytime only, never alone. I've hiked these woods my whole life. I know what animals sound like. I know what people sound like. She paused. That wasn't either. And whatever it was, it wanted me to know it was there. I've hunted these woods for 20 years. I always thought I was the predator. This story comes from a man named Dale, 44 years old, 3rd-generation Kentucky hunter. His grandfather taught his father. His father taught him. Dale knows these forests, knows the deer trails, knows where the turkeys roost, knows every ridge and hollow within 10 miles of his family's land. November 2021. Deer season. Dale was in his usual spot, a tree stand about 2 miles from the nearest road. He'd been hunting this location for 15 years. 4 a.m. dark, cold, perfect conditions. He climbed into his stand, settled in, waited for dawn. Around 5:30 a.m., something changed. The forest went quiet, not gradually, all at once, like someone flipped a switch. Dale had experienced quiet mornings before, but this was different. No insects, no owls, no rustling, nothing. The kind of silence that feels wrong. He sat there, rifle ready, eyes scanning the darkness below. Then he heard movement. Not a deer, not walking on 4 legs, something moving through the brush on 2 legs, slow, deliberate. Dale raised his rifle, looked through the scope. Nothing. Just trees. Just shadows. The movement continued, circling his tree stand. I've been charged by boar. I've had bears wander through my camp. I've never felt fear like that. Not from an animal. The circling went on for 20 minutes. Dale couldn't see anything, could only hear it. Then it stopped right below my stand. I could hear breathing, heavy, wet, like something with lungs too big for its body. Dale didn't move, didn't breathe. I had a rifle. I had the high ground. I was the one with the weapon. But sitting there in that tree, I didn't feel like the hunter. He paused. I felt like prey. The breathing continued for maybe 5 minutes. Then it moved away. Slowly, same direction it came from. Dale stayed in his stand until full daylight. 2 more hours. When he climbed down, he looked for tracks. The ground was soft from recent rain. Nothing. No prints. No disturbance. Something was there. I heard it. I felt it. But it didn't leave a trace. Dale still hunts. Different locations now. Closer to roads. Closer to other people. My grandfather hunted these woods his whole life. My father hunted them. But something's changed. Something's out there that wasn't there before. He looked at me. Or maybe it was always there, and we just never noticed until it wanted us to. This next story is different. This man didn't panic, he didn't run. He recognized the tactic. I went into those woods a hunter. I came out knowing I'd been hunted the whole time. This story comes from a man named Carl, 57 years old, Vietnam veteran, 40 years of hunting experience, the kind of man who doesn't scare easy. Carl has a reputation in his county. Best tracker, best shot. The person you call when a wounded deer disappears into thick brush. October 2020. Carl was hunting a section of private land he'd leased for years. Remote, no cell service, the way he liked it. He went in before dawn, planned to stay until dark. The morning was normal, saw some does, passed on a small buck, standard hunting. Around 2 p.m. he decided to move to a different location, a ridge about a mile away. That's when things changed. I'd walked maybe half a mile when I got this feeling. The feeling you get in combat when someone has you in their sights. Carl stopped, scanned the forest, nothing. I've trusted that feeling my whole life. It kept me alive in Vietnam. I wasn't about to ignore it now. He changed direction, started walking toward a different area. The feeling followed him. No matter which way I went, I felt eyes on me, not behind me. Around me, like something was moving through the trees, keeping pace. Carl tried every trick he knew, doubling back, stopping suddenly, moving erratically. Nothing worked. Whatever was tracking me, it was better than me. And I don't say that lightly. Around 4 p.m., Carl decided to head back to his truck, direct route, fastest path. That's when it got aggressive. The sounds started. Branches breaking, heavy, not trying to be quiet anymore, coming from multiple directions. Carl raised his rifle, turned in a slow circle. I couldn't see anything, but I could hear them. Plural, more than one. They were herding him. Every time I tried to go one direction, sounds would come from that way, pushing me toward a specific path. Carl recognized the tactic. He'd used it himself, pushing deer toward a kill zone. I was being driven somewhere, and I wasn't going to find out where. He did the only thing he could think of. I stopped walking, sat down against a tree, rifle across my lap, and I waited. The sounds continued for maybe 10 minutes, getting closer. I started talking out loud, told whatever was out there that I wasn't moving, that I'd sit there all night if I had to, that I wasn't going to be driven like an animal. Silence. Complete silence for maybe 30 seconds. Then the sounds retreated, slowly, moving away, back into the deeper forest. Carl sat against that tree until dark. Then he walked out, slow, rifle ready. Nothing followed him. I've been hunting for 40 years. I've tracked everything that moves in these woods. He looked at his hands. That day something tracked me, herded me, tested me, and when I wouldn't play along, it let me go. Carl sold his lease the next month, hasn't hunted that section since. I don't know what's out there. I don't know if it's one thing or many things, but I know this. Whatever it is, it's smarter than us, and it's been watching us hunt for years. He paused. Maybe it learned from us. Maybe it was always the better predator. Carl still hunts. Public land now. Areas with other hunters around. I'm not ashamed to say it scared me. Anyone who says they wouldn't be scared is lying or stupid. He looked toward the window. Those woods belong to something else now. I'm not going back to find out what. I've worked these forests for 16 years. I know which areas have problems. This story comes from a woman named Rebecca, 41 years old. Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife. 16 years in the field. Rebecca has seen everything: poaching, illegal camps, lost hikers, animal attacks. But she says some things don't fit any category. There are sections of forest where we get more calls, not emergencies, just calls. People reporting strange sounds, feeling followed, cutting their trips short. Rebecca started tracking the reports 5 years ago, informally, just notes in a personal journal. Same areas, same descriptions. Something was watching me. I heard footsteps but saw nothing. The forest went quiet. Over and over. She brought her observations to her supervisors. They said it was normal. Big forest. People get spooked. Imagination runs wild. But Rebecca wasn't convinced. These aren't tourists. These are hunters. People who've spent their lives in these woods. They don't spook easy. The pattern was clear. Certain hollows, certain ridges, always the same areas. Reports cluster there like something's marking territory. Rebecca won't name the locations. I don't want to create a panic, and honestly, I don't want to attract the kind of people who'd go looking for trouble. But she's changed her own behavior. There are areas I don't patrol alone anymore, areas I make sure to clear before dark. I asked her what she thinks is happening. I don't know. Could be a big cat we haven't documented. Could be something we don't have a name for. Could be mass hysteria. She paused. But 16 years of reports from experienced outdoorsmen, all saying the same thing, all from the same areas. That's not hysteria. That's a pattern. Rebecca still works the forests, still does her job. But I listen now. When a hunter tells me something felt wrong, I don't dismiss it. I write it down, I add it to the file. She looked at me. Someday, someone's going to figure out what's happening in those woods. I just hope I've collected enough data to help them. My family has been in these hills for 6 generations. We know which hollows to avoid. This story comes from a man named Emmett, 71 years old. His family has lived in the same county since before the Civil War. Emmett grew up hearing stories. My grandmother called them the old ones, said they were here before us, said they'd be here after us. He didn't take the stories seriously, not until he was 19. Summer of 1972, I was hunting with my uncle, deep in the forest, way back where nobody goes. They'd been tracking a deer, good blood trail, easy follow. Then the trail stopped. Not like the deer got away, like the deer stopped existing. Blood trail just ended, middle of nowhere. Emmett's uncle went pale. He grabbed my arm, said we needed to leave, said we needed to leave now. They walked out fast, didn't speak the whole way. That night my uncle told me what my grandmother had told him, about the old hollows, about what lives there, about the price for going too deep. Emmett never went back to that area, neither did his uncle. Some folks think we're superstitious, think we're just repeating old stories to scare children. He shook his head. But my family's been here 6 generations. We've survived because we learned what to avoid. Not everyone has. Emmett's grandchildren hunt now. He gives them the same warnings. Don't go past the rock face. Don't follow deer into certain hollows. If the forest goes quiet, turn around. They listen, mostly. The young ones, they think they know better. Think technology and rifles make them safe. He paused. Technology doesn't matter out there. Rifles don't matter. The only thing that matters is knowing when you're not welcome. Emmett still walks his property, still knows every tree. But there are places he doesn't go, places his father didn't go, places his grandfather didn't go. 6 generations of men in my family. All of us hunters. All of us learned the same lesson. He looked at me with tired eyes. Some things in these woods are older than us, smarter than us, and they don't like being hunted. He stood up slowly. So we don't hunt them. We just stay out of their territory, and we teach our children to do the same. He walked to the window, looked out at the tree line. That's not cowardice. That's respect.